Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
With all the things that have been going on since this administration has taken office with the black community, the black preachers have finally come out very loudly across this country, and they have something to say, and I am here for it, honey. Take a listen in to hear what some of them have to say.
And we got some politicians in here. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to come for you if you ever say this. If you ever say, America, we better than this. You lying. You lying. We ain't better than this. America was born in political violence. America committed political violence during the slave trade. America committed political violence when black bodies hung as strange fruit on southern trees. America committed political violence against the Irish, against the Italians before they became white. America committed political violence when America passed Jim and Jane Crow laws. What do you think political violence was? Political violence when they bombed and massacred Black Wall Street, when they massacred Rosewood, when they massacred whites and blacks in Wilmington, North Carolina. Well, what do you think political violence is? Martin being killed, that's political violence. John Kennedy being killed, political violence. Robert Kennedy being killed, political violence. And you gonna say we better than this? No, you can't fix what you won't face until you look in the mirror and say this is a violent country that has done violence to too many people. We will never get our act together. It's time to repent, because if my people called by my name humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal the land. Somehow we better than this. No, we ain't.
So I always see people say, oh, black people commit most of the violent crimes. And my question always is, no, we don't. Because what the fuck are we considering violent crimes? Now let's get into these percentages per the FBI and the DOJ. So you can't say, oh, what's the source? Nigga, the source, motherfucker. Now, America seems to have this, obsession with black crime, even though it's complete propaganda. Black people make up 13 to 15% of the population, yet less than 3% are ever convicted of violent crimes, and under 0.5% of the total U.S. population, while most crime across all races is interracial, right? Over 80% of both black and white victims are harmed by offenders of their own race.
Overwhelmed, I'm getting tired of trying to do good and be right. Overwhelmed, I'm getting weary with being bombarded day in and day out with this nonsense. Overwhelmed, God, I can't take so much more of this. Beloved, I don't know about you, but I came to tell you today, I come to this sanctuary being overwhelmed. You know overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed daily, find the historical lies of the narrative of white supremacy and a nation that caters to white guilt and forces me to prove the equality of my blackness every day. I am overwhelmed listening to the voices of those who think they have this singular right to define and determine who belongs in America and who is an American when it was my forefathers and my foremothers who built this land. I am overwhelmed with gun violence and mass shootings and threats against historically black colleges and universities that ain't had nothing to do with anything that went down this past week. I'm overwhelmed with the culture of division and violence that this administration fuels and fertilizes, with an inability to show compassion for those who are in need. I'm overwhelmed to find out that $75 billion is being directed to the policing and the detention of undocumented individuals, while Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and food assistance and 300,000 black women have lost their jobs under this administration. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with ICE raids and Klan rallies and threats against the Smithsonian and corporations backing off of DEI and executive orders and Supreme Court rulings. I'm overwhelmed by folk who call themselves Christian.
Only black on black crime is sensationalized. So when white people start to act scared when they see black people, they should act the same way when they see other white people, right? Meanwhile, nigga, listen. Despite being just 28% of the U.S. population, the FBI and the DOJ data show white men commit the majority of the nation's worst violent crimes. 55% of kidnapping, 56% of rapes, 58% of mass shootings. They are also 59% of the child pornography arrests, 62% of the statutory rapes. They are also over 63% of prostitution solicitations, over 68% of the National Firearms Act violations, and over 75% of the incest prosecutions. Yet, their criminality is rarely racialized. The real roots of violence in black communities are white-made systems, and I don't give a fuck how it make you feel. These are the white-made systems. Black codes, Jim Crow, redlining, sundown towns, FHA, and the GI Bill exclusions, COINTELPRO, the war on drugs, the crack and powder disparity, mass incarceration, and deliberate disinvestments. So the next time you see a stupid motherfucker saying some shit like, oh, black people are always trying to be a victim, or even you about to fix your lips to say some stupid ass shit like that, remember, those things I just listed ended fairly recently. So the facts are, history says we're not trying to be the victim, we are. And blaming black people for crime is like kidnapping someone, forcing them into a fight for survival, and then labeling them Adolf Hitler when they defend themselves, because crime is not a reflection of blackness, but of America's engineered oppression.
Recently, a person who is occupying a temporary space in public housing in Washington, D.C., has been making statements about the city of Chicago to send federal troops and ICE and Homeland Security. I wrote this, and I hope those in DC and other places will hear this, a poem that I wrote for our 5 minutes at this moment, entitled, Keep Our Name Out Your Mouth. Keep our name out your mouth. You do not know the beauty of this city some call the Shy, the city of big shoulders and broad dreams, the city of rib tips, Italian beef, deep dish tamales, hot dogs, no ketchup, please. We are the city that is a patchwork of God's creation, formed by the great migration of Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas, Mexico, Belfast, Warsaw, and Rome. We speak Patois, Creole, Spanish, Igbo, Hindu, and Korean, all with a Southern and Midwest drawl. Don't speak our name if you are blind to the work of DuSable, the words of Gwendolyn, and the brush of Burroughs. Don't speak our name if you don't know we invented gospel. We are the spiritual home of Thomas A. and Mahalia J. Don't speak our name if you don't know Bronzeville birthed Lorraine Hansberry, Marlon Gibbs, and a king named Nat Cole. We are the city of muddy water daughters and buddies named Guy. Christmas is not Christmas until Donnie sings This Christmas. Don't say our name if you don't know. We held Fred Hampton's heart. Harold Washington's soul. Gave Common his light. Chance his coloring book. No Name her sundial. We are the spoken word brilliance of Binky to Leslie. Literary icons named Upton, Saul, Jane, and Eve Hewing. This is the city that kept hope alive. Run, Jesse, run. And forced a Barack to campaign on hope because a reverend named Wright helped him to see the dreams of his father. Keep our name out your mouth. If you don't know anything about pickles and peppermint, if you've never seen lines at limbs or had mild sauce under your fingertips, if you've never been possessed by beats made in a house by a man named Frankie with knuckles, don't say our name. To quote Sylvia Hewing, Chicago is poets and playwrights and blues. Chicago is the second city of improv with the sonic wonders of Megan McNeil, Liz Wright, and Isaiah Sharkey. Don't say our name if you've never nodded your head to beats by Bucket Boys, smiled at West Side Footwork, laughed as Unc and Auntie stepped like ain't nobody's business. Don't say our name. You've never seen the beauty of Bronzeville, Love and Roseland, Genius and Garfield, know the history of Pullman, and seen hard work in Chatham. Keep our name out your mouth. If you've never been to the Point or cruised down Lakeshore at dawn and decided to pray because you are thankful you live in a city with such beauty and sublime potential, keep our name out your mouth. We, the people of the Chi, the Black, White, Latino, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Sanctified, Holiness, Humanist, Agnostic, and Anglican. We, the people of this place called the Chi, from the south to the north, to the east to the west, disagree on many things, but one thing we agree. We love this city. We will fight for this city. We stand for this city. We built this city. We will defend the rights of all in this city. We say unequivocally to those with unmerited privilege who occupy space temporarily in a city built by a black man named Banneker, I say this one final time, keep our name out your mouth and let me drop my mic.